Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show, and I want to invite you to my first ever public book signing. I'll be doing a special reading, question and answer session, and a signing of my new book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness on Thursday, March 20th at Visible Voice Books, located at 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. I'll have a limited supply of Little Victories on hand to sign. I'll be reading selections from Little Victories, as well as telling stories and reading some material that was left out of Little Victories. I'll end with a Q&A session that will be a no-holds-barred affair. The signing will be from 7 to 9 p.m. at Visible Voice Books, 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. Come out, have some fun, and be a part of a rare appearance from me, Chris Aiken.
That's the house band of the Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. It's American Dog with Sometimes You Eat the Pussy and Sometimes It Eats You, Chris. And right. have you been eaten by pussy lately?
Have I been eaten by pussy?
By the pussy? Has the pussy eaten you lately?
No, the pussy has not eaten me lately.
That's good to know.
And I won't answer the first half of your question.
Well... Anyway, a segment that we did a week ago seemed to went over pretty well, and I like this bumper. So, you know what time it is, Chris?
What time is that?
It's time for...
There's a request in the chat room that we need a Snatch Chat bumper. Dude, I'm in a total fucking sexed up porn fucking drunk stupor tonight. I'm just ready to talk about pussy, 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 pussy.
Isn't that like the greatest word ever?
Cunt. Roast beef.
Pictures of snatch shoots. A snatch.
You got 3 inches of moist skin flaps, and we'll do anything for that.
It's wheezy.
It's a good one.
I love it.
That's a good one.
It is. Well... What is in the world of Chris Aiken of Snatch Chat that you'd like to share?
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily my world this week. I think it's your world.
Okay.
You know, I mean, there's not a whole lot really this week for me. I mean, I really haven't I haven't even seen the girl that I've been kind of hanging with this week.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm actually going to go see her tomorrow.
So basically, you've been snatchless.
I have been snatchless. You know, other than you know, I was out on Tuesday watching a band play, and there was some decent snatch there, but
right.
I wasn't really attacking any of it. And believe it or not, I wasn't drinking either. You can believe that. I had 2 beers and a shot.
Right.
In like 3 hours, which, you know, for me that's like being sober.
Well, you know, I was thinking about the Snatch Chat bumper, and not that I want to change it at all.
Uh-huh.
But you know what would just tweak it up just a little bit?
What?
Is that scene, or just the audio from the scene of the Silence of the Lambs, where that deviant in the jail cell, he goes, "I can smell your cunt."
Right at the end?
Exactly. But I don't know how audible that is, because it's so buried in the music and everything on, you know, the right. Film score.
Yeah, Weezy will just have to figure that out.
Yeah, it's just, I can smell your cunt.
I'm looking right now to see if I can't find that bumper, that sound pipe.
Yeah, because I think there's too much music, or, you know, that dramatic music that they play, the film score playing, to where you can't hear it very well. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's too much score.
That's what I'm saying. But if it was more audible, that would be perfect.
Let's see if there's another one with a better audio. No, they're all leading back to the same guy.
Exactly. But that would be great.
That would be.
Right at the end.
Well, couldn't we just record it ourselves?
I suppose, but it would be better if it was actually the actual film.
You could just be like, I can smell your cunt.
Right.
Wheezy, mix.
Well, I was relating a story to you. You and I were kind of, shooting the shit this week, and we were kind of discussing, the direction that my book will take once we, start laying it out.
Right.
And, I've told stories before on the show about when I was very young. I was 20 years old, and I'd gotten married right out of college.
Right.
And I dated the girl that I married for a year.
Okay.
But I would not recommend to anybody that they marry somebody after 1 year. Now, I think you only dated your wife for a year, right?
Not even.
Not even a year.
Let me just tell you why my story is so fucked up, and then we'll come back to this. I literally got married so I could date, and that's the truth. Me and her, we were both in the service, and we came down on orders to go to different places. I was supposed to go to Texas. She was supposed to go to California. So the only way we could stay dating, and I mean, we were broke up. We were split up at the time. She was in Korea. I was in Arizona. The only way we could stay together was to get married. So literally, I flew her in for a week to Arizona. We got married and flew her back.
Wow.
And then I had to file a congressional request because the stupid service wouldn't help me any. So I went over everybody's head and filed a congressional request and got a congressman to call Department of the Army and get us put together. It was a whole fucking thing, dude.
Right. So did you get married because you thought that this was the right thing to do, or did you do this for the convenience of being able to be placed somewhere different?
Oh, I didn't care about where we were placed. I didn't give a shit. No, dude, at the time I was in love, man. I was like, this is going to be the one, and it's going to be forever, and, blah, 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 blah. All that bullshit that you believe when you're 18 years old.
Okay, you got married at 18.
Yeah, I was 18.
Okay, well,
19. I was 19.
Okay, I met my chick when I was 19, and I got married at 20.
Yeah.
So you and I sort of are in that same whole realm.
Right, exactly. You just got smarter quicker than me.
Well, I don't know that I got smarter quicker. It's just that how long were you married before you had your first child?
My daughter was born in September of 90, and we got married in May of 89.
Okay, so it was a year.
Yeah, year and a half, somewhere in there.
Okay. So, see, I never had children with anybody.
Right.
And I didn't have children with her.
Well, it just meant that you were better at the rhythm technique than me.
No, I was just very careful.
Yeah, no such thing. Never wore rubber once.
Well, I got to be honest with you. After just a few months,
yeah,
I was already convinced that there's no way in hell that I'm having children with this woman because I got to get out of this.
Wow, really?
Yep. I had already made up my mind within a matter of just a couple of months that, oh boy, what a mistake I made.
Within a couple months?
Within a couple of months.
Oh, wait a minute, but you didn't get divorced within a year.
No, my first well, here, let me really back up here.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I graduated college in August of 84.
Okay.
Okay. She was the one who was pushing the whole marriage agenda.
Okay.
I was under this impression as a young person that I've got a college education now. The world is my oyster. I shouldn't have any problem getting employed. But you got to remember, this was in the first, what do you want to call, what's the word I'm looking for? The first term of President Reagan.
Okay, so like 82, 81, somewhere in there?
Well, yeah, but we were just coming out of a recession at that point.
Right.
And, jobs were not as plentiful as I thought. The job market wasn't that great. And, I was I was full of idealistic ideas.
Right.
Things were going to roll my way. I'm a smart guy. I got things happening. I got this chick. I was just going to just have the American dream,
Sure. Yep.
So I was just full of these ideas that things were just going to work out.
Okay.
Well, I did meet this girl, and, she started pushing the whole marriage agenda thing right away because she still lived at home.
Okay.
And, it was the whole, I don't want to live under mom and dad's rules. I want to get out on my own, this and that. Why don't we just go get married? And so on and so forth. And
so you were pushing the marriage?
No, she was.
Oh, she was pushing this. Okay.
Yeah, because I was going to college and I had my own apartment and, I was doing my thing.
Right.
And she wanted out from under her parents' roof.
Okay.
So she was the one who sort of was pushing the whole marriage agenda.
Right. Okay.
And, as a lot of guys do, they just sort of go along with it to appease their chick, because... Right. Because that, for a lot of women, I should say, that is like the crowning achievement in their life is, I'm getting married and I'm going to be special and I'm going to be princess for a day. And, it's more about the day and the whole ceremony and the look at me, I'm the princess in white.
Right.
Everybody's coming here to see me, but it's a one-day deal.
Right. Sure.
So, I went along with it, even though I shouldn't have. And, my family, my mother, my sisters were warning me about this girl. They kept telling me, this girl is, there's something not right here with this chick.
Right. This ain't going to work.
No. And they kept telling me about things that she said and, things that she did. And a lot of things that I personally did not witness. Myself.
Okay.
She put on a good act around me.
Right.
But then when I wasn't around, I guess her true her came out.
Okay.
And my sisters and my mother would tell me things that she said or did. And it was just like, oh, I can't believe that.
Right.
And I was just like, are you sure? Because it was just like, I never seen her do this, or I never heard her say that, or because she acted like an angel around me all the time. Right. But when she was around other people, the true side of her came out.
Right.
So everybody was, saying, you really ought to reconsider. Don't marry this girl. Right. But I did anyway.
Sure.
Within a matter of just a couple of months, I realized why.
And why is that?
Well, she just the difficulty of her and her attitude was just like, holy shit, what did I get myself into?
Okay, but why did you not see that, I guess?
Because she never displayed that in front of me.
So you thought all your friends were just jealous or lying, or what?
I didn't know what to think. Dude, think of yourself.
No, I'm dude. I can tell you the same story over and over. I still do it now. Dude, the one girl, Teresa, that I was seeing over the summer that was here for the show and everything a couple of times, every friend in my life told me to fucking run. Every friend in my life told me run for fucking cover.
Sure.
And what did I do? Fucking did not run.
Right.
Damn near moved her in.
Yeah.
And it just turned into the absolute disaster that I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Or that everyone thought it was going to be except me. So yeah, I get it. Yeah. I get it fully. I'm still stupid.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was stupid. It's just I did not see any of these things that they were telling me. And it's just like, I didn't see her do this, or I didn't hear her say that, or, what do you mean? And they were just like, you really need to open your eyes a little bit.
Right.
But I didn't. So, so I did what a lot of people do is, I went ahead with getting married.
Okay.
But the day before the wedding, I think it started sinking in with me because I kind of really had to think about it. Well, I was driving from Akron to Lima, which we all know is a dump.
Is a dump, right?
And my younger sister was in the car with me, and she was one of the bridesmaids. And my oldest sister lives about probably about 90 miles west of Lima.
Okay.
And she and her husband own a farm. En route to Lima the day before the wedding, I just basically told my sister, and I remember this distinctly while we were in the car driving, I was just like, why don't we just keep going past Lima, go to our sister's farm, and let's hide out there.
Okay.
So already I was just kind of like, you know what? Maybe this isn't such a good idea. And I actually considered not showing up.
Jesus God, dude.
I did.
But you still did.
I did because, everybody was coming into town. It was the whole wedding thing. I mean, the right thing as a mature person would have done was to say, I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing it. I'll tell the people you can go hide.
Right. But at 20 years old,
right, you just went through with it.
Yeah, you just go through with it. Okay, right. I'm going to roll the dice. Hopefully it'll work out.
Maybe she'll change.
Yeah. So I got married in August.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're basically talking September, October, November, December.
Okay.
I was working because the economy was so rough at the time.
Right.
I took a job as a mechanic, as a mechanic's apprentice is what I did, even though I had a degree, which I was going to go into management, but I actually took a job as a diesel mechanic.
All right.
So I got a job with a small shop out in Wadsworth. You know where Wadsworth is, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And this guy hired me on and paid me $4.50 an hour.
Wow, big $4.50 an hour.
Yep,
huh?
$4.50 an hour.
Can't believe you didn't retire from that job.
Exactly. So this was basically a little two-man show. He had another guy working for him. It was a 24-hour road service and shop where they did tune-ups and oil changes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working for this guy at $4.50 an hour.
Right.
And I was working at times 70 hours a week straight time.
Oof,
this guy didn't pay overtime, so I was making $4.50 an hour, 70 hours a week.
Wow, Jesus, and that's still no money. That's what, $400 a week.
$400 a week.
Jesus fucking Christ! For 70 hours.
Yeah, and then you take out your taxes and everything off of that, so your net pay was like $250.
$1,000 a month.
Yeah,
working.
it's $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month, basically working two jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that.
Yep, but that's what I had to do.
Right. Well, you had to eat. You had to live.
Sure. So here we had an apartment in Medina.
Okay.
And we're paying rent and, expenses and gas to go back and forth to work and, so on and so forth.
Sure.
So, I'm working my tail off just trying to pay the bills.
Right.
Because I got a new wife to support.
Right. And what was she doing at the time?
Well, she was working at a local department store.
And was her money and your money combined?
Yeah, it was combined.
Okay.
So basically between her minimum wage, which at the time was like $3,
right,
and my $4.50 an hour.
Wow.
We together were making $7.50 an hour.
God damn.
I know. So, between the two of our salaries, we were making $7.50 an hour.
Right. Between the two salaries, you were broke.
Exactly. So it was 2 days before Christmas. It was the day before Christmas Eve.
Okay.
So she's asking me, can't you ask your boss if you can have the day before Christmas Eve off so we can go visit with my parents in Lima?
Right.
And of course, number one, we really couldn't afford it. And number two, being that it's a 24-hour road service that he was running, and it was in the middle of winter.
Right.
A lot of, back then anyway, before all the modern technology, trucks, because we service semi-trucks, they would freeze up in the wintertime and break down on the side of the road, and that was usually their busiest time of the year.
Right, because people weren't delivering anyway, so they were just hanging.
Well, not only that, but what happened years ago before they had fuel heaters and all kinds of things that they have now.
Right.
These trucks would, the fuel, I don't know if, and here's a little lesson for you, but for anybody who runs a diesel engine in very cold weather, diesel fuel thickens up. It gels is what they call it.
Okay.
It's not like gasoline. It doesn't stay fluid. It gels. It gets thick.
Right.
And it freezes up, and it freezes in the fuel filters, and the engine shuts down.
Okay.
So you'll be driving along on the side of on the road, and all of a sudden the engine will start spitting and coughing and dying out because it's starving for fuel because the fuel is all frozen up and gelled up. So he needed me to be there to do these road calls, but he let me go anyway. He said, okay, if you want the extra day off, okay, you can go, but, I really need you here at the shop.
Right.
But to appease the wife, I went ahead and took that extra day off.
Okay.
So I had the day before the day before Christmas Eve off, Christmas Eve day off, Christmas day off, and then I had to be back to work the day after Christmas.
Okay.
So I had 3 days off.
Wow. All right. Wow.
And we had to drive to Lima.
Ugh,
Jeez. So we drove to Lima, spent the day. So we left out that night so we could be there the day before Christmas Eve day, and half of Christmas Day. So basically 2.5 days.
Okay.
So we spent 2.5 days with her parents' house. At her parents' house because she wanted to be there.
That sounds like no fun.
Because that meant everything to her.
Okay. So you were doing what you should for your wife, I guess.
Sure.
Okay.
Now everybody knows who's ever listened to the Classic Metal Show. My birthday is on Christmas Day.
That's right.
Okay. So we pack it up, leave her parents' house on Christmas afternoon about noon.
Okay.
And it's about a 4-hour drive back to Akron.
Yeah.
So we leave there at noon. My family, who lives in Akron, were there at my parents' house, and they basically held everything just for me.
So they didn't really celebrate Christmas. They waited
until I got there. No. They waited later in the day to do anything until I could get there.
So you got there at what, like 4 o'clock?
Yeah, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Correct.
Okay, so they didn't get up and open their presents and enjoy the day.
No, they wanted to wait till I got there.
Okay, that's nice.
So they did this on my account.
Okay.
All right. So my brother, who lived over in Pennsylvania at the time, made the trip over, and then everybody else who was in my family, had been there, and they were all waiting for me, and they held Christmas dinner. Most people eat their Christmas dinner at noon or 1 or whatever.
Right. Sure.
Well, they held Christmas dinner till 5, till we could be there and all be there together.
Okay, that's, again, nice. It's a total family thing.
Everybody did this on account of us.
Right.
So
Very nice thing.
Yeah. So we get there at 5 o'clock, and we all sit down to dinner and have a nice Christmas dinner. And then, of course, it's time to open gifts.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what happened, between the time that we got there and the time it was time to open gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my wife goes over into the family room, which was another room off of the living room.
Okay.
Where the gifts and the tree and everything were. And she's over there sitting by herself away from everybody. So I walk over and ask her what's going on. And she said, "When are we going home?" And I'm just like, we just spent 2.5 days at your parents' house. We've been here maybe 2 hours.
Right.
And you're already ready to go home. Yeah, I don't want to be here anymore.
Did something happen?
I don't know. See,
you still don't know?
I still don't know to this day.
Oh, my God. Okay.
So I was just like, well, we just been here for 2 hours. I said, we're not going anywhere for a little while. So you either need to straighten it up, or I don't know what you need to do, but we're not leaving right now.
Yeah, pout in the corner.
Basically, that's what she did.
Right, okay.
So my sisters and my sister-in-law, everybody's trying to talk to her and just kind of include her, and she just basically will have nothing to do with it.
Cold, frigid bitch.
Basically.
Nice.
So about 40 minutes later after that,
yeah,
she just gets up, gets her coat on, grabs the keys to the car. She goes, I'm leaving.
What?
She says, I'm leaving. She gets in our car and she takes off.
Wait a minute. She takes your car.
My car.
And leaves you there with your...
She leaves me there at my family's house.
Oh, all right. No, let's stop there for a minute. First, when she left, did you try and stop her?
I did. It's just
Did you be like, where the fuck are you going?
I did, and she just right out the door.
She didn't say fuck you and get in the car, nothing. She just got in the car and left.
She just got in the car and left.
Okay, so now let's play this game. So you turn around, your family sees this. What the fuck do you say to them?
I don't know what to say to them. It's just like you try to, you just try to put a good face on it, but there's really no good face you can put on that.
No, I mean, does somebody say, what the hell happened?
Yeah, of course. And you're just, I don't know. And it's like, you're at a loss. You don't know what to do or say.
My question would have been, do you really think she's leaving? Is she just making a point and she'll be back in 10 minutes?
Well, maybe, mind you, this was 1984. So we're talking 30 years now.
Right.
30 years? Where's 30 years gone?
Good Lord, dude.
So anyway, everybody's like, don't worry about it. Just come in here, enjoy your time, enjoy your family, all these things. Everybody's trying to be nice and console me and, whatever.
Well, sure.
Well, the problem is that my family lived in the south side of Akron.
Okay.
And my wife and I, lived in Medina.
Okay.
So that's like 30 miles.
Yeah, that's a pretty good drive.
Yeah, it's 30 miles.
Right.
Plus, I have to go to work in the next morning.
Oh, man.
So
what time was this when she left?
Well, we got
About
there at
7, 8 o'clock?
This was like 6:30 or 7 o'clock.
Oh, my God.
Yep. So we got there at like 5 and she left at like 7.
What a bitch.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So my sister, one of my sisters, she worked out where I worked. She worked like maybe, I don't know, maybe a mile, maybe 2 miles from where I worked.
Okay.
And she's just like, don't worry about it. I'll get up early. I'll take you home. You can get yourself together, and then I'll just go on to work, and, it's not a problem.
Right.
So that's what we did. Got up a little extra early. She got ready, drove me out to Medina, dropped me off at my house. Then she went on to work.
Okay.
I walk into my house. The wife is there. She gets up. I think the worst thing she could have said to me was, well, where were you all night?
Oh, my God.
Like I was out running the bars or something.
Please tell me that you went fucking ballistic.
And what I said was, what do you mean, where was I all night? You left me at my parents' house without a way home.
Wait a minute. You didn't start screaming at her?
Well, dude, you've known me long enough. I'm not one of those people who just go ballistic.
I would have gone crazy.
Well, that's you, though.
If she would have said that to me, the whole house would have come down.
Sure.
I would have been breaking furniture.
Right. See,
I would have been fucking nuts.
But I've never been a violent person. I don't react violently about anything. It doesn't mean you can walk on me.
Right.
But I'm not one of these people who have to throw things and punch walls and break furniture and,
I can guarantee when I was 20, 21 years old, that response would have got my house destroyed. No question in my mind, I'd have been throwing coffee tables and throwing a television. I would have gone fucking ballistic. She'd have been calling the police.
Right.
No doubt in my mind. Fucking bitch.
Right.
That makes me mad now.
Right.
I wasn't even there.
Sure.
Jesus.
So of course, like I said, my response is, what do you mean, where have I been all night? You left me at my parents' house. And her snotty remark was, oh, well, I thought maybe one of your loving family would have driven you home last night.
Oh, my God. How do you not drop a C-bomb on this bitch? How do you not follow that up with, you fucking self-indulgent cunt?
Right.
How do you not say that? How is that not the next thing out of your mouth?
Well, of course, that made me mad. And I said, I don't have time to talk about this right now. I've got to get ready for work. I said, but you and I are going to have a talk when I get home tonight.
Okay.
Well, she grabbed me. Now,
What?
I was wearing a brand new shirt, something that I had gotten for Christmas. It was a flannel shirt.
Okay.
She grabbed me with her. She was really proud of her nails. She's like a lot of girls who have the the very manicured, sharp nails. She grabbed me right above the chest on my left side.
Okay.
And she literally ripped her nails through that brand new shirt, and she left 4 bloody nail streaks across my chest.
My God.
She ripped into my shirt, and she ripped 4 bloody streaks across my chest with her nails.
And this is the part where you got raised up on her.
Yeah.
Knocked her down, fucking beat her to death.
I didn't beat her to death, but my natural reaction was to push her away.
Okay.
And I didn't violently push her away, like slam her against a wall or anything, but of course I pushed her away because she ripped into me.
Right.
And she fell backwards into a laundry basket full of laundry.
Okay.
So she gets
And that's when you jumped on her and started punching her in the face. You fucking bitch! You fucking whore!
I could tell you're just feeling this, aren't you?
I really am, dude. How do you not beat this bitch? How do you not throw her out of your house?
Well, again, I've never been a violent kind. My dad has never been a violent type. I didn't.
Violence is one thing, but how do you not put her out of your house?
Well,
she's assaulting you. She just fucking stranded you. She'd have been out.
Sure.
She would have had to have been out.
Right.
I'd have called off work. I wouldn't have given a fuck if I lost the job. I would have been, get your fucking shit. You got 10 minutes, and I'm going to start burning anything that you fucking leave.
Sure.
I'd have lit the whole goddamn house on fire. I would have been crazy.
Right.
Holy shit. She fucking cut you up, and you just were like, now, I'm going to tell you something later, Missy.
Well, no, I pushed her away, and she landed in the pile of clothes.
Okay.
She gets up out of she fell back into this basket full of clothes.
Yeah.
Then she starts yelling at the top of her lungs, spousal abuse.
Yeah. All you got to do is look at your fucking bloody chest to fucking see where it was from.
Yeah.
Bitch.
She's yelling wife abuse, spousal abuse.
Wife abuse because she fell down in some clothes.
Basically, yeah.
So it's okay for her to cut you up, but it's not okay for you to fucking push her away from cutting you up.
No, because I pushed her back and she landed in the basket, against the wall.
She needs to eat a bag of dicks.
She probably has at this point.
I'm sure she probably has. Fucking cum guzzling slut.
Right. So
that's another story.
So I go in the bedroom, change clothes, head out the door to get to work.
All right, stop. How do you have the mental toughness to be able to fucking get your shit together and go to work?
Because
I would have been crazy. Tell me you punched your fucking steering wheel, something.
Well, I didn't get that far. I'm just finishing the story.
Well, I'm talking about when you get in your car.
Believe me, I was blown away at this point. But you're just at a point to where it's just like, let calmer heads prevail here.
Man, please. That always happens after I fucking do something stupid.
Right. But that's you. That's why you're angry Aiken.
I guess so.
You know, not everybody has that explosive temper.
I guess. I'll bet you there's more people listening right now that are right there cheering for me and not you.
Well, regardless of how someone else would handle it, I'm telling you how this all went down.
Right. Oh, I know.
So I get ready, and as I'm walking out the door, you and I are going to have a talk when I get home.
Okay.
Well, I walk out the door.
Yeah.
When my sister had given me a ride home, I had brought all of the gifts that were given to us that, you know, she had left behind. I had brought them all with me and set them on the floor.
Okay.
I walk out the door. I'm heading toward the car. She opens up the door with all of the gifts in hand, and she throws them all out the door in the snow.
Oh, my God.
And she screams out the door, "Merry Christmas, you son of a bitch." And she slams the door, and everything is like scattered outside on the lawn.
All right, and this is when you go back in. You fucking go into your glove compartment, get your pistol, and go charging back in the house, right?
No. I just got in my car, and I went to work.
You left the gifts on the
I
lawn?
did. I was just like, you know what? This is just out of control.
Dude.
You know, what are you going to do about it? Really?
I honestly would, dude, it would have been a massive problem. This would have been a massive problem for me. Because if I'd have gone back to that door and if it was locked, I'd have kicked that fucker down. And I know that for a fact. I would have kicked it down and fucking grabbed her by her hair and put her on the fucking lawn.
Right.
There's no question in my mind. I'd have put her out of the house. I'd have dealt with the cops. I wouldn't have cared.
Sure.
I would not. I mean, I'm not saying I'd have beat her up, but I would have put her out.
Right.
There's no question in my mind I would have put her out.
Sure.
And she'd have been done. Fuck that.
Right.
You know, I'm not allowed to talk about my marriage time. That's kind of my legal thing. But I can say for an absolute fact, never had a situation like this.
Well, I'm just telling you that you know, prior to being married, I was warned. And it all came to fruition after I was married.
Right.
And then, of course, you know, if you've listened to the CMS, you know, at any point, you know, I've told a couple of stories about waking up with her standing over me with a knife and dumping food on me in a restaurant and,
Jesus Christ.
You know, all these things.
All right.
Over a 3-year period. And
so crazy, dude.
I know, dude. I put up with a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I remember, you know, the last incident that happened between us happened just before New Year's Eve of 86.
Okay.
I hadn't talked to her for 2 weeks. You know,
were you like not living like you?
No, we were living in the same place. We were living in the same.
Speak to each other in the same house.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I didn't talk to her for 2 weeks.
Like not a word, not
a word.
The butter, not
a word.
I get in the bathroom, nothing.
Nothing.
Oh wow.
And
that had to be all kinds of comfortable.
Well, she was working a job at a department store, and I was working at, you know, my job, and you know, we didn't see each other that much, and I was sleeping on the couch at this point.
Okay, so yeah, you were done.
And you know, I was sitting on the couch reading the newspaper, and I remember distinctly, it was like 2 days before New Year's Eve of 1986.
Right.
And she walks up to me, and she's standing in front of me, and I, you know, look over the paper, and I go, "What's up?" And she goes, "I just want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're thinking." And I said, "Well, I'll tell you exactly what I'm thinking." I said, the new year is going to be here in 2 days, and I don't intend on spending it with you.
Wow.
And her response to that was not surprise or shock.
Yeah.
It was, "Okay, make me a deal and I'll leave."
Make you a deal?
That's what she said.
Meaning what?
Make me a deal and I'll leave.
Okay, how about this? I won't beat you. You can leave under your own accord, or you can leave with a fucking black eye. What kind of fucking logic is that? Now you owe her something?
Yeah, because according to the quote unquote, and that's funny you should bring that up because that was her thing.
Yeah.
She had already checked into what the quote unquote divorce laws were in California because we were living in California at the time.
Right.
She goes, well, as your spouse, I'm entitled to 50%.
50% of what? You were making $4 an hour.
Well, no. I had a better job by then.
Oh, okay.
This was 2 years later.
Right.
But she goes, I'm entitled to 50%.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I took what we had spent on furnitures and belongings and car and these other things,
mm-hmm.
and it roughly came out to about $10,000.
Okay.
So I threw the offer on the table. I said, I'll give you $5,000 in cash and the new car.
All right, bye.
And that's what we did. We went to a lawyer, drew up a dissolution summary. I told her I'd give her $5,000 in the car, and she'd be out the door.
Wow.
And that's how it worked out. So that was my settlement, was $5,000 in cash and the new car.
Well, you got away easy.
Well, this was 1986, dude, or actually 1987.
Well, here, I want to go backwards, though.
Okay.
When you got home after the workday, on the day after Christmas, how did the talk go?
Well, by this time, she had cooled off. She had gone outside and she collected the stuff she threw out the door.
Yeah.
And, she had cooled off. And I actually, if I can remember right, because I actually think she was apologetic about it.
Okay.
And, it's just like, why did you act that way? And it's just like, well, I'm just sick of your family.
Wait, sick of your family? Why? For the whole 2 hours she had to put up with them?
Yeah, well, basically because, they treated me, like the prodigal son that came home after being absent for all these years. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're obviously you're familiar with the story of the prodigal son and killing the fatted calf and all this. Well, it was my day. It was my birthday.
Yeah.
So everybody was making a big to-do over me. It was my birthday.
Right.
Well, it was my 21st birthday, as a matter of fact.
Right.
So it was kind of a big deal, and she felt that she didn't matter.
What a fucking greedy cunt.
Well, yeah, self-absorbed.
Oh, my God. You're not paying enough attention to me. Everybody in the room isn't paying attention to me.
Yeah, it's all about you today.
God damn, really?
Yeah, that's what it boiled down to. She had the whole jealousy thing going on.
Yeah, I guarantee you that she wasn't fucking giving up any of that attention on her fucking birthday.
Oh, no, not at all.
Fucking bitch.
Yep.
Wow.
So it was my 21st birthday. The family did wait dinner for me and food and blah, blah, blah. And
yeah, because it was your birthday.
I know. But it was a whole jealousy thing. You and your loving family,
Oh. Yeah, that's a real fucking crime there, bitch. That my family cares about me. That's a real fucking problem.
Well, it was a problem for her, apparently.
Jesus Christ. What fucking dumpster is she living behind now?
Well, from what I understand, she's been married 3 additional times since me.
Well, then she's stable.
Yeah.
5 years she trades one in.
Pretty much.
Like a car.
Exactly.
Trades in her car and her husband every 5 years. What a fucking whore.
Right.
Is she married now? Do you even know?
Yes, I do.
She is married now?
I understand that, yes.
The husband number, is that 5?
4. Number 4.
Number 4?
Yep.
Still.
Right.
Damn. How do you go into a relationship with somebody that says, well, I've been married 3 times before?
That's what I want to know.
And not be like, fuck, I hit that pussy once, I'm running for the hills.
Well, see, I had this conversation this morning, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
About, the person I was talking to said that they had received numerous marriage proposals over their lifetime. I said, well, receiving a marriage proposal is one thing, But actually going through with it, then getting out of it, then going through with it, then getting out of it, then going through with it, then getting out of it. I said, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So my question is, knowing my ex the way that I did,
right,
knowing in my mind that she's no prize,
right,
what does she do or say that gets these men to actually marry her?
Well, what she does is she doesn't fucking show it. Same as she did to you.
But the thing is would a guy just marry to get some?
Just to get some ass?
Yeah.
No.
So,
but think about it. Was she good?
But she was able.
Was she like a pro?
No, absolutely not.
She was not good.
No.
Oh well, then I don't know.
Well, when I got a hold of her, she was only 20. How much experience did she have?
Okay, well, what I'm saying is, I mean, compared to other girls that you had before her,
I never had anybody before her.
Oh, she was your first one?
She was my first.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh dear God. I mean, I can't imagine somebody, especially at our age, fucking marrying somebody just to get ass. Because all you need for ass is $100 if you really want to get some ass.
Right.
And if you don't have $100, you just need a 20 and fucking show up at the bar at 2 a.m.
Sure.
I mean, dude, that's always the big misconception, I think. And maybe there's a lot of guys that think that way, that, it's all about, getting laid and, she fucks good and sucks good dick and blah, 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 blah. It ain't like that. If you really want to get laid, you find a bar that has chicks that go to it. You go there at 2 o'clock in the morning. You just sleep until midnight, 1 o'clock, and you get up and you go.
Right.
And you'll go home with somebody because they're all fucked up.
Right.
They're all drunk, and most of them are horny from fucking drinking too much.
Sure.
And, if somebody ain't driving them home, here, honey, I just got here a little while ago. I haven't been drinking at all. Let me get you home.
Right.
Once I get you home, let me fucking bend you over the fucking couch. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I haven't done that in the last year.
Sure.
But, I mean, it's not hard to get laid. I think that just like chicks, there are dudes that their whole existence starts and stops with the fucking perception.
Right.
And they're, and I mean, this with guys our age, dude. There's a lot of guys our age that feel like they're missing something because they're not married and all their friends are married. And, well, then I got to get married because everybody else is married. Mm-hmm. It's like, y'all are nuts.
Right.
And for me personally, and I mean, I'm obviously new at it, but I can't imagine. I cannot imagine loving a chick enough right now to fucking marry her. I can't imagine it.
Right.
And not even for the love part of it.
Sure.
But for how fucking bad I got smoked the first time.
Right.
I mean, who does that? Who gets fucking crushed emotionally and then goes back and does the same fucking thing?
A lot of people do it. They fall off that horse and they just jump right back on again.
Well, here's what I'm saying to you, and I'm saying to the rest of my Core 9 people. If they see me fucking at K Jewelers or whatever, they need to pull out my book and not only show me the words in the book, but beat the shit out of me with the book. Beat me to the fucking ground till I'm a bloody mess, and then throw that book down on the fucking ground where I'm laying and say, listen, dick, read this again. Whoa, I cannot imagine, dude.
Well, that always reminds me of that Sam Kinison bit where he's like, oh, no, I would never hurt you. I'm not like those other bitches. I'm going to show you a whole level of emotional pain.
Right.
Those girls were amateurs compared to me.
Right. Dude, I just, and again, I'm in no way, shape, or form into any kind of a relationship where I have to even start thinking about these kind of things.
Sure.
And I think you kind of have been at least once or twice, haven't you?
No, I the thing is
the one that you spent a real long time with, I think you might have.
It got bandied about, but not on a serious level. Not at least serious, not on my part.
Right. Well, I mean, she did try and trick you into wearing a ring.
Well, that is true.
So I know it was serious for her, but I mean, I think at some level, I mean, you lived with her for a lot of years.
No, I didn't live with anybody.
How long were you with her?
5.
And you lived with her for those years, didn't you?
No, not at all.
I thought you lived with her.
No.
And that's why there was like a furniture problem or something.
No. There was a girl. Okay.
Am I mixing them up?
Yeah, you're mixing them up.
Okay.
There's a woman, I should say, that I basically met through a work acquaintance.
Okay.
And it was when I left California back in 91.
Okay.
And I moved back to the Akron area.
All right.
And I met her through a mutual friend. And I was out on the road driving a truck.
Okay.
And when I would come home on the weekend, because I was driving a regional job, I was gone like Monday through Friday.
Right.
I would be home on the weekend. Well, I would spend the weekend, I would bunk out at my dad's house.
Right.
Well, when she came into the picture, I would hang out on the weekend with her most of the time. Well, when I got off the road, off of driving the truck, and I decided to go to broadcasting school, I got a regular 8 to 5 job. Well, when I got off the road, I wanted to get my own apartment. I didn't need a place to live when I was driving a truck because, I was gone all the time. Well, when I got off the road and got a regular 8 to 5 job and I was going to broadcasting school, I was going to get my own apartment.
Sure.
Well, she's like, why do you need to get your own apartment? And I'm just like, well, I need a place to live. And she's like, well, you just should just live here. And I was just like, well, I don't want to do that. Well, why? Why don't you want to live here? Do you want to date other women or something? It's like, no, I just want my own place to live.
You just want your own space.
Well, it was like, well, I don't understand. I have this place here, and you spend most of your time here anyway, and there's no reason why you shouldn't live here. And why do you need your own place? Why are you going to spend the money on your own place? I have this place. It's big enough for both of us, and, on and on and on.
Right.
And I knew it was going to be a problem. And it was becoming a problem when I voiced my, intention of having my own place, and it was just like, I don't know why you have to do that. And so I agreed to live there.
Now this is before the one that I knew.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
This was before I met you.
Okay.
And it went on that way for about almost 3 years.
Okay.
And, it got to the point to where it was just like, okay, where is this going? And I had finished broadcasting school, and my full intention at that time was to get into radio, commercial radio full time.
Sure.
But as well as I do, that whole industry changed between like 96 to 98. It
sure
totally changed.
Yep.
And, there wasn't really going to be an opportunity for me to break into commercial radio and make a living at it.
Right.
So that was my full, that's where my full attention was to try to get into commercial radio full time. But obviously the opportunity just wasn't there.
Okay.
So her thought was, are you going to just chase this dream all of your life? Or are you going to marry me, and are we going to settle down? And my thought was, nope, I'm not doing that. So she basically, I remember coming home from work one day, and she was waiting for me in the kitchen, and she's just like, well, I'm giving you an ultimatum. Either you're going to marry me, or I'm moving southern Ohio down toward my parents' house.
Okay.
And I was just like, nope, not doing it. And so we parted ways. I went and got my own apartment, and she packed it up, and she moved to southern Ohio, down near her parents' house. But later did I find out that she had already met somebody down there.
Oh, lovely.
And within 6 months, she was married.
Oh, God.
Yep.
And how long before she was divorced?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I lost track of her a long time ago, but I will tell you this.
Yeah.
She got married we split up in September.
Okay.
She was married by February.
Oh, my God.
She came to Akron and came to see me at the radio station, and she made out with me like a bandit. I will tell you that.
Nice. Did you hit that?
No, not while she was there, no.
After she was married?
No.
Not at all?
Just to make out. Just made out. No, I could have, though. I could have, though, because I jokingly said to her, why don't I take you out around back here and bang you? And she said, really? So.
That's funny.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
So from what I gathered, her situation was just, well, I'm in my 40s now. Nobody wants me. This guy wants to marry me. He's got secure job, blah, blah, blah. Might as well.
Right. I'm just still trying to digest this whole.
I'm telling you, dude, when I write the book, there'll be a lot of stuff in there.
I love this. I definitely love this stuff. It's
right.
So funny.
I know. My sordid past with quote unquote relationships and women.
Right.
All I can tell you is that in my personal experience, once you're involved with a woman on a consistent basis,
right,
the whole marriage thing always creeps in.
Well, yeah. I mean, it does. And believe me, that's the biggest fear I have.
So
I literally have a fear that I'm going to follow your lead and go for these 2-year fucking hitches. And just at the end of 2 years, I'll just be like, I got to fucking go.
Right.
I got to get the fuck out of here.
It's just like, aren't we having fun? Aren't we having a good time? And the thing is, I can tell you from personal experience that the time that I've spent with these women, even up to the last day, was always a good time for me, or, enjoyable time, I should say, because when you say good time, it almost sounds like, oh, you're only a good time to me. Yeah, I should just say enjoyable experience with them. But when the agenda starts clouding everything, then it becomes a real drudgery.
There's how many in Chicago? 2 or 3?
Since I've been here?
Yeah.
Just 2.
Just 2.
Yeah.
And I know both, or I've met one. I
know of the other, yes.
I know everything there probably is to know about the other.
Right.
And with you, it's the same fucking thing. I mean, literally, it's like you made a photocopy of one and put a new fucking cover on it.
Right.
It's the same story.
It's the same formula.
It's craziness.
It starts off good. Things are going well. It's just, it's something you look forward to and you get along real well and all that. And then all of a sudden it's like, where's this going? What are we doing? Are you going to, are we going to make this more permanent?
Right.
And it's just like, why are you in a hurry?
Yeah.
Well, it's been 2 years.
So what?
And
what is the benefit that they think they get?
I don't know. I think it's lock it down, man. Lock it down.
But what is the benefit of that?
I don't know.
If one of them can give me a solid benefit, then I'll solidly listen. But there's no real benefit to me. What is the benefit to where all I see is that if I have an argument, I can't walk away.
No.
That fucking, yeah. And there's going to be an argument.
Of course there is.
So,
Well, you can't just have me for the good times only.
Well, that's what I want you for.
There's other things involved, And
the weird thing is it's not just ass that you mean by the good times.
Yeah, it's experiences, it's concerts, it's movies, it's, a little vacation, whatever it is.
Exactly. And I mean, the truth is even if you're not married, like you kind of, unless you're just a scumbag that's only trolling for pussy, if you're the kind that actually gives a fuck about the people that you're dating or whatever, you kind of are playing the better or worse game anyway. I mean, you know this, dude. I'm sure there were times where any number of the chicks that you've been dating were, really sick, had a surgery, any of that kind of shit, were in a car accident, some of that shit where your first reactions are, okay, are you okay? What can I do to help?
Right.
So and that's without buying a ring.
Right.
That's just with, I care about you, and that's it. And so what's wrong with that?
Well, because you got to lock it down.
Why?
I don't
For
know.
whose benefit?
I don't know the answer.
I don't understand where the benefit is.
It's the whole security. It's a mind thing.
Yeah. What's security?
Well, you're going to be there for me. But
really?
There's no guarantee for that. Even if
really?
You got
65% of the fucking world is divorced.
Right.
There's no security.
I know.
The only security is that you still get a paycheck if you fucking turn out to be a twat.
Right.
That's not security to me.
Right.
That's I guess the women like it because it's a fucking win-win for them.
Sure.
They get married, they fucking get a lottery ticket.
Right.
A guaranteed winner.
Sure.
It's just how much do you scratch off?
Yeah.
Where for us, it's fucking working from Monday till Wednesday at noon for some bitch that you'd want to be away from.
Sure.
For the privilege of getting away from you, I get to work 2.5 days a week. Fuck off.
Well, let me ask you something, Mr. Agan.
Go right ahead.
You admitted that your first child came 1.5 years later after you were married.
That is true.
My question has always been, because I've not been in that position.
Yeah.
What is it with people in general, not specifically you, but just people in general? I noticed that a lot of people within the first year to 2 years of their marriage, they're already banging out a couple of kids.
Because they never stop banging.
Yeah, I know, but do they ever think about the fact that, if we keep doing this unprotected, we're going to have a kid, or they or they don't care?
There was no thought in my mind at all.
All right, that answers my question. So you just bang like bunnies without the thought of, you could get pregnant if we do this.
Dude, I swear to you, with her, I never one time in 23 years wore a rubber. Never. And I honestly don't think I ever pulled out.
See, there you go. All right, well, that answers my question.
I honestly was like, whatever. And again, if you want to go to that part of the marriage, I was like, I'm already fucking married. I'm good. Whatever.
But I was married, and I certainly didn't want to procreate.
Yeah, but you knew she was a fucking weirdo twat.
Yeah, but regardless of that,
I loved my wife, dude, for the longest time.
Okay.
For a good year.
Yeah. See, I was always afraid of that whole pregnancy thing.
Nah, dude, this is how stupid I am. Me and her, fucking about 2 years after about 1.5 years after my daughter was born, me and her split up for a while. We didn't break up like get divorced or any of that shit. Nothing legal. But she took off for Kentucky and left for 7 weeks. And we didn't talk to each other at all for 7 weeks. And finally she called. She called me and was like, I want to come back home, but I'm not coming back unless we can fix blah, 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 blah. And my brilliant answer was, you know what'll fix this? More kids.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
And so she came back, and within weeks, the boys were conceived.
Wow.
I mean, that was my brilliant plan. Was everything will be better if we have fucking more kids.
See, that was always my biggest fear. Is just like I don't want to be banging out any units here.
Man, I was so fucking dumb. Although, I mean, I'm thrilled with my boys, but
yeah, I understand that.
But boy, was that a fucking disaster of a plan.
Sure.
Yeah, that'll make everything better. We'll get along so much better when we add the stress of another kid.
Right.
And then when it was a twofer, oh my God.
Really?
Oh, well, I had twins.
Yeah, I know. I'm just sort of agreeing with you. Yeah, really.
Yeah. I was like, Jesus, here I am. I was working at ITT, that made transmission parts.
Right.
I was working as an accountant in the transmission fucking place, making a whopping $8.20 an hour. Yeah, let me have fucking 2 more kids. That's a great plan.
Sure.
I was living in a 700 square foot apartment. We literally hollowed out the one walk-in closet that we had and put 2 cribs in it. That's how I was living. Sure. I was living large.
Right. Well, I will tell you that when I was living in California,
right,
and this was between 85 and 91, after I was divorced and I was back out on the dating scene.
Sure.
Seems like every girl that I came in contact with, 22 years old, divorced, 2 kids.
Oh, wow.
22, divorced, 2 kids. That was like the formula.
Wow.
And it's just like, why did they already have 2 kids at 22 years old?
Yeah, when did they start having them?
Well, at 20.
Wow.
They bang them out at 20 and 21, and they got 2 kids and they're divorced. 2 kids and divorced. That was like the cookie cutter. 2 kids, kidding. 2 kids divorced. 2 kids divorced.
Well, I can see where that's a stressful time once you get your second kids. Because then you start getting 0 attention from the wife.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of unwed mothers out there with 2 kids, you know?
Yeah, well, I get it. I know that's when, when my boys were born, that's really when me and her started fucking drifting.
Sure.
Drifting far. And the only thing that really kept us together was then I got hurt, and then there was, 4 years of that, and blah, 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 blah.
The rest is history, so read the fucking book.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. But, I mean, I get it, and I don't want to get it again. That's my whole thing is right. I cannot imagine going up to an altar and not being scared to death.
Yeah, sure.
Just thinking about everything that went on and how fucking fucked up I was for, from the emotion of it the first time. I can't imagine ever giving it all like that, being that emotionally attached to anybody again.
Right.
Now, I'm sure it could probably happen, but woo, I would have to, something major would have to happen. I can't imagine what it would be, but something unbelievably major would have to happen for me to fucking be like, all right, well, even though you fucking were so fucking hurt that you ended up in the backyard with a pistol, yeah, let's do that again.
Right.
How am I going to fucking get to that point?
Something to ponder, my friend.
Well, something that I honestly almost hope never comes up. What I want is the girlfriend that, keeps her own place and I keep my own place, and we live happily ever after, meeting in the middle.
Well, that's all I got to say about that is good luck with that.
I know.
Let me know how that works out.
No, trust me, I know, dude. I'm definitely there.
Sure.
It's one of the reasons I wouldn't mind getting rid of my house and moving into a studio apartment.
Right.
Because there's no desire to move
Sure, there's just no room here.
Yeah. Well, there's no desire either.
Right.
What chick wants to move into a guy's studio apartment?
Sure.
This is what I got, honey. 340 square foot.
Well,
Call me the Rev.
Well, but again, you could do like one of my exes did and go out and rent a ranch and say, there's enough room in here for all of us. Why don't you just move in here?
Get a couch and a fucking storage trailer.
Right. Exactly.
Here's where I live, honey. Come on in.
Right. All right, man. Well, I think that's going to wrap up Snatch Chat for this week.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
How do you like that story?
Oh, dude, Jesus. Snatch Chat rules.
So that's one of my lurid details of my early years.
Too funny, dude.
Yeah. So anyway, well, I thought maybe we'd get out of this segment and play a song that I think is very appropriate.
All right.
Thought I'd play some Dokken.
Okay.
Heaven Sent.
Yeah, there you go.
Heaven Sent, but baby, you're not the one.
That's right. So scram.
Exactly. All right, well, here it is. This is Dokken from the Back for the Attack release, and this is Heaven Sent exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. Most people know me as the foul-mouthed shock jock from the Classic Metal Show, or the no-nonsense heavy metal critic from pitriff.com. Now you get to learn the other side. My first book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness, comes out on January 13th in paperback and digital formats on Amazon and iTunes. It details my real-world emotional struggles over a year that included a divorce after a quarter century of marriage and the death of my father. It profiles things I did right, as well as a bevy of things that I did wrong with the help of alcohol, and how I found my way out of the muck of the emotional state that almost saw me commit suicide. Pre-order your copy of Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness today at www.chrisaikenbooks.com and get in touch with the more fallible side of me, Chris Aiken. Sounds happy, huh?